Today, we're flying on one of the best new business classes in the world, Japan Airlines' new A350-1000 from Tokyo Haneda to Dallas-Fort Worth. But is this possibly the best new business class in the world, or is it a flop? And at the end of the video, I also get one of the biggest surprises I've ever gotten on a flight before. But first, our video today starts off here at the Japan Airlines Sakura Lounge at Tokyo Haneda. As a business class passenger, you get access to the Sakura Lounge that is located in Terminal 3 near Gate 114 on the 4th floor. The lounge has what I'm going to call a Japanese modern design aesthetic with fantastic views of the apron. There is a dedicated area for drinks, which includes a curated selection of wines from Japanese sommelier Okoshi Motohiro, as well as seasonal sakes from artisanal purveyor Hasegawa Satin. As for food, there is a self-service buffet area. It was early morning when I got here, so they were serving breakfast, which had both Western and Japanese options. They also had QR codes on the tables where you could book shower rooms or order food to be delivered to your table.
Alright, so that was Japan Airlines Sakura Lounge here at Tokyo Haneda Airport. I wish I had more time to spend here because it is just so lovely. But later on in the video, when I talk about the easier way to book award space for this flight, that's part of the reason why I don't have as much time to spend here as I'd like. But let's get going because I am so excited to finally be able to try out Japan Airlines' newest business class.
As a business class passenger, we will be boarding in Group 2 after first class passengers and passengers that need special assistance. Japan Airlines is currently in the process of actively upgrading their long-haul fleet from the 777-300ERs to these brand spanking new A350-1000s. The business class cabin consists of a total of 54 seats, spread across 14 rows in a staggered 1-2-1 configuration. The seats are by Safran Unity, and Japan Airlines was the first to have these particular seats. For today's 11-hour and 13-minute flight from Tokyo Haneda to Dallas-Fort Worth, we will be seated in seat 13A. The seats have a 21-inch width and are upholstered in a burgundy red that reminds me of a nice glass of Merlot. I think my favorite thing about these seats, though, is just how thoughtfully designed the storage compartments are. In addition to your standard storage locker and side table compartments, there's a closet that blends seamlessly with the seat to hang your jacket, and even a dedicated storage compartment for your shoes. The safety card and magazines are tucked at the front of the side table, so they're still easily accessible while also not being in the way. As for the footwell, I find it to be quite large. It's around 18 inches wide, 27.5 inches deep, and 11 inches tall. And of course, there's a door to make the suite fully enclosed. It's about 52 inches or 132 centimeters high and adds a lot of privacy. And finally, with the latest of innovations, there's a headrest with built-in speakers, but we'll get into these when we talk about the IFE. Oh, and in case anyone was curious, this is what the center seats look like. They're definitely more ideal if you're traveling with someone you want to be able to sit directly next to and chat with. Although there is a privacy divider that can provide privacy between the seats in case you're more of the school of thought that absence makes the heart grow fonder. Before takeoff, the crew stops by with a hot towel as well as a welcome drink. After takeoff, it's time to pop out the seat tray and take a look at the lunch menu and drink menu. The drink menu has a good selection of champagne, French, German, and Japanese wines, and of course, some sake. As for the lunch menu, there was a choice between Japanese or international set courses. I, of course, chose Japanese. The amuse-bouche comes first. I'll be honest, I thought the amuse-bouche was a little bit strange. It came with a small container of sun-dried tomato dip and a container of candied walnuts. Everything tasted fine, I just thought it was a little bit of a weird combination. Next came the Iridori Gozen, which is a gorgeous kaiseki set. Here's a little cheat sheet of what's inside the set. This was quite large and could have been a meal all on its own, but it was absolutely delicious and beautiful as well. Side note, but how cute is this little red crane chopstick holder that came with the meal? Next came the Dynamono, which was the hot course. The black cod was rich and buttery tasting, and the curry was super flavorful. Everything was just really tasty and comforting. Plus, I always love a good bowl of miso soup. Dessert was kami, which was a roasted soybean bavarois with mochi. The roasted soybeans gave the custard a nice nutty flavor, and the mochi was soft, chewy, and not too sweet. Overall, a great dessert. At the end of the meal, we're given a moist towelette. A bit of a bummer, as it would have been nice to see a real hot towel like we got at the beginning of the flight instead. With lunch complete, let's check out the Amenity kit. Japan Airlines Amenity kit is by Haroboni, a Japanese company that supports artists with disabilities. There are 6 different designs, each by a different artist available, and you'll receive one at random. I've received this blue one by artist Keizuke Mori. The contents are pretty basic with a dental kit, earplugs, eye mask, and tissue. But there's also some unique items, like this Japan Airlines charging cable and a Japan Airlines branded phone stand. It's almost like this was made for people who make YouTube videos. You'll also get a pair of slippers, of course, which I put on earlier in the flight, as well as a shoehorn. Now let's check out the bathroom. There are 3 dedicated washrooms for business class passengers, and you'll find them located in between the 2 business class cabins. The washrooms are pretty standard in size like you'll find on most aircrafts, and were kept really clean throughout the flight. Highlights included this bidet feature, which is standard for Japanese airlines, and let's be honest, a highlight for Japan in general, a foot pedal to open the garbage bin, and some extra amenities like dental kits, Japanese mouthwash, and soaps and lotions from UK brand Miller Harris. Also, as strange as this sounds, there was something about the mood lighting here that felt a lot more warm and inviting and less sterile compared to washrooms on most other airlines. Alright, that's enough of the washroom already, let's head back to our seats. Back at our seats, there are some pajamas waiting for us, as well as a mattress topper and a blanket. In lie flat mode, the bed is around 78 inches or 6.5 feet in length. And even in lie flat mode, the footwell is still really spacious. After quickly throwing on the pajamas, I closed the privacy doors and climbed into bed. Overall, the bed was really comfy. I give it a solid 8.5 out of 10 and even managed to get a few hours of sleep. After a few hours of sleep, let's check out the IFE because there are some really interesting things about it. First off, it's a 24-inch 4K display that's extremely crisp and clear. There was a good selection of movies and TV shows, although much higher selection of international options compared to Western titles. Oh, and there's also an interactive map of the aircraft for those of us that like to pretend like we're special ops. Okay, now let's talk about the audio because there are 3 different options to choose from. You got your standard headphones, Bluetooth so you can link your own headphones, and the new in-seat speakers. This is what the headset looked like. These were pretty standard. I give them 7 out of 10. They were nothing special. As for the in-seat speakers, while I do commend Japan Airlines for thinking outside the box with these, I found them to be underwhelming. The noise cancelling wasn't really the greatest, and the audio quality was a little lackluster. Personally, I'd rather just use my own headphones with the Bluetooth or use the standard headset. Alright, before we get into the final meal, as well as the big surprise I got at the end of this flight, let's talk about cost and how you could potentially find award space easier if you want to take this flight on points.
Alright, so as promised, let's talk about how you could potentially find award space on this route easier and how I did it. So at present time, Japan Airlines only flies their newest business class on the A350 on 3 different routes, between Tokyo Haneda and JFK, Tokyo Haneda and Dallas Fort Worth, and Tokyo Haneda and London Heathrow. So it took me forever, almost an entire year, to find award space on this route, and how I finally did it was by setting my origin as a different place. So instead of searching from Tokyo Haneda and Dallas Fort Worth, I just put my origin as Japan, just general Japan, and destination Dallas Fort Worth, and the award space finally came up. The secret, though, is that I actually had to start my journey in Osaka. So this is actually my second flight today. I flew from Osaka to Haneda and then from Haneda to Dallas Fort Worth. And that is the only way that the award space showed up for me. At the time, I did a little test. I tried, hey, can I fly directly just Haneda to Dallas Fort Worth? Let's just skip being in Osaka first. And no, it did not show up if you set it as Haneda. It only showed up if I had set it as Osaka first. So you do have to be willing to fly from a different city. For me, it wasn't a huge deal. I just arranged my trip so that I ended my trip in Osaka so that I could fly from Osaka to Haneda and then Haneda to Dallas-Fort Worth. So maybe try setting your origin as a different city or another airport that's close by to see if the award space comes up for you.
Oh, and total cost was 75,000 Alaska miles plus $43.91 US in taxes and fees. As for our final meal, there's no dedicated pre-arrival meal, but you can order food a la carte through the IFE at any time throughout the flight. This is what the a la carte menu looks like. I decided to get the noodles, an egg sandwich, and the special Japan Airlines Skytime peach and grape juice mix. The food arrives fairly quickly, and I'm excited to try everything out, especially the noodles and the egg sandwich to see how they compare to other airlines. Since Japan's other major carrier, ANA, is famous for having a Puto ramen, I wanted to see how Japan Airlines stacks up. And while these aren't ramen noodles, they are delicious. They're warm and comforting and have just the right hint of yuzu to them. A solid 9 out of 10. Now for the egg sandwich. Unfortunately, the egg sandwich wasn't very good. It was dry and tasteless. They should honestly serve the egg sandos from Japanese convenience stores instead. Because everyone knows that the egg sandwiches from 7-Eleven, Family Mart, and Lawson in Japan are top tier.
All right, so now time for the shocking surprise that I received at the end. So one of the FAs came over to me and she said, "Hey, I noticed that you're taking a lot of videos and photos," and I got scared because I thought, oh no, am I in trouble? Are they upset? And then she says, "I figured because you are taking all these photos and videos that you must really, really love airplanes. So I want to give you something." And this is what she gives me. It is a postcard, a Japan Airlines postcard of the A350, which is our current aircraft, of course. But not only that, I mentioned earlier how cute the chopstick holders were. She also gives me this, the red crane chopstick holder from the meal earlier, and she says that I can take this home with me as well, which is just completely unbelievable. I mean, let me just say, Asian airlines in general have just top-notch service, like right up there. Even if she hadn't given me these two little gifts, I would have already been blown away by the service. But when you have crew that are just kind of going that little extra mile to make a passenger feel special, this is the type of thing that makes you memorable.
And as we touch down in Dallas-Fort Worth, it's time for me to take my slippers off and put my shoes back on and deboard the plane. Overall, this experience was pretty great. If I'm comparing it to Japan's other major airline, ANA, it's really hard to say which comes out on top. ANA's The Room is still quite a bit larger than Japan Airlines' newest business class seat. But Japan Airlines is definitely more modern in terms of tech, has better bedding, and flying on the A350 is just a lot quieter compared to the 777. If you've made it this far, let me know in the comments down below if you would rather fly on Japan Airlines' new business class on the A350 or on ANA's The Room on their 777. As always, thank you for joining me on board, and don't forget to subscribe and like the video to join me on more flights like this one.